Then uh, Mariam's question is it follows up on the dream of the real side experience of Jenny, whose experience I shared last week. She'd been in a Kankar, and she'd read about the temples of golden wisdom, and then but had never maybe visited one. Then after doing the new song, she found herself uh, in an environment where she found uh, this very gigantic building somewhere there in the clouds. Then she understood that was a temple of golden wisdom, but it resembled one magnificent building there in the Congo. And uh, as she was contemplating on this, all of a sudden she found herself uh, at the uh, what would I call it, the where they always have their meetings in Kinshasa, where they have their classes, they hold discussions and all the like. And there she met when she found herself there. She saw the real guides had formed a circle. They were backing her, and then suddenly they turned, and she could make out one of the guides. Was it Fubiquans or so? And so Mariam wants to know now uh, whether where they meet, where the new friends gather, is it also a kind of let me say temple of golden wisdom? And then what do you say about this idea of temples of golden wisdom, which is a carryover from Paul Tuchel?
Okay, Paul had to create something that he designated for people to put their imagination on to create an idea, just like anything. And so he called it the temples of golden wisdom. That's what he called them, all right? Now, it's interesting, the word wisdom. What does that word relate to? Okay, look it up in Webster's dictionary. And it's basically going to relate to, usually things, traditional things of the past, things that have been said, right? Like Harry on stage, he's always doing his wisdom act, okay? And does wisdom do it for you? If it does, have fun. But these are just ideas. So the place that she's seen is, basically what she's decided. That's also part of her projection. So if you want to go to the beach, if you want to go to the park, or meet at the movie show, you decide. Or you can, you in your imagination, you do the best you can to create a temple of golden wisdom where you go. This realm here, which we call the universe, this planet, we helped create all this. It's in creation. So if you need to go to some place, then go to it. So Paul just designated those places. Now, I created a group and a website. I think Kelsey created. It's called Our OURS, Our Residences. And I did this along the same lines. In other words, many times people don't know what to imagine or do, or how to, step aside from themselves. So I had fun just creating this idea, and Ava and I created the images together just to give people an idea. It's not verbatim. It's not exactly like that. It's whatever you want it to be. but it's just to give the idea, and this was the idea of the temples of golden wisdom. So on the real side, these things can be created instantly or redone, and this is where the boys have redone these things. In other words, just like here, when you remodel a house, uh, King, you may have to mute. You all of a sudden, King, you have to mute. You have to come on. You have to mute before you come on. All of a sudden, the place appears different. I met this one lady. I'm going to give you a little prophecy here. I met this lady. Well, this lady that I knew was a seer, and she said, "Well, someday you're going to be in Laguna Beach, and you're going to be teaching there." Well, I said to her, "This is Kathy Thomas, who I talk about in book 2 a little bit. She lives in Idaho, Boise, Idaho." Well, she did. I don't know if she's on the planet anymore. But anyhow, she said, "Well, someday you're going to be in Laguna Beach," because I live in Huntington Beach, and Laguna is south of here. You're going to be teaching there in this white house." And I said, "Well, Kathy, I don't really see that. Laguna's fine. I go down there once in a while, but the surf's not good there, and why would I go there?" So several years passed, and then I met this lady from Laguna Beach that lived on the top of the hill. Well, when I went there, all right, the house was not white, okay? But the interesting thing is that a year or two before, she had remodeled the house. And she showed me a picture of the old house. And it was white. And so the new presentation is new. And so realistically, ask yourself, do you want to go to the old places, or do you want to go to the new places if you want to go to a place? Now, the isness of life is bigger. So you decide your experience. If you want to go to a place, then you go to a place. Or you recognize the isness life is, and you will always be, you might say, in the right, real position for yourself. Again, you decide. So, from what you're describing, because she decided the experience, she's seen basically what she decided. So if she wants it to be a temple of golden wisdom, hey, keep in mind, that's a reference to Harry. All right? So yeah, the boys can be there, and they'll play the game. But as you hang on to those old cutesy references, those are really emotional attachments. So again, she decides the place that she wants to be. And what is old wisdom? I don't do old wisdom. I don't do wisdom, okay? I'm very real with what is taking place now. We're just very real is what we are. We are making sense of what life really is. And wisdom is its own avenue. But yes, we start off there. We start off with that reference, which is fine. It's all fine. But then we learn to see more, don't we? And so again, she decided the experience. The boys, bring her along, okay, accordingly, and give her that idea. It's just like the job market. Maybe she's, been a nurse all her life, so she looks for a nursing job. It only makes sense. But all of a sudden, she goes out there into the job market and there's no nursing jobs available. Now the market has changed, okay? Now it's something else. It's upbeated into something else. So, but again, that is a reference that's used, but that's an old reference is what it is. And so I suggest to always use the new references because they are direct with the real guides and the all is, which is a bigger picture, more so than just places in life. But we do go to places in life, but there's always a bigger picture. So again, everything she did is fine, but she basically decided the experience, so the boys gave it to her, you see. But also, from what you're telling me, they formed a circle and one of them turned around. Well, what is that? What that would tell me is that they're not looking to the inner circle the same way. They're looking outward. If you're describing the experience properly, they're looking outward from when they used to look inward when Paul was here. You see? So again, look at the experience and what it's demonstrating. Yes, go ahead. I'll let you figure that one out, Charles. Thank you.
The last real sad experience is that of Mariam's relation called, his name is John, and he's been attending their meetings, and he's a Christian, and learning about some the new knowledge about, especially about his body, when he was told that he's a free being of pure light. Didn't understand what it means to have another body, and it was really strange to him to hear that. And so he would stay with Mariam till maybe 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, asking questions, trying to know more. So one night when he returned, he did the new song, then went to bed, then suddenly found himself out of his body. Then he quickly rushed back to the body, and he took courage again and sang the new, and then found himself again further, came out again the second time, and went further afield. Then he was still frightened, came back into his body again. He returned to the body and went out a third time, a fourth time, and even a fifth time. At the fifth turn, he went even farther than he'd gone the previous times. So he wanted to return to his body. He said because he said he had gone too far afield, and so he didn't know how to return. And so it occurred to him to sing the new song. Then suddenly he came back to the body again. So this demonstrates the learning of a Christian who has come very far, the practical knowledge of being something other than his physical body, and he experienced it personally. So that is where Mariam wraps up the real sad experience from Congo today. I don't know whether Dwayne has any comment on this on Christianity and their belief in the one life theory and the using the physics.
Yes. I was going to say on the last experience that I know that was a lot for you. I heard you say to her that it's rather complex, but it's very simple. But and that's a lot for you. Hessam has to do this on Friday, so I'm sure he's glad to just watch and hear you do this. Did she understand that okay about what a person decides and what Paul had written at that time and what's going on now? And I heard you talk about the isness too. I got those words. So just so that they understand this, we we need to bring this understanding of, we still do these things just like here. We go place to place, and on the real side, we go place to place. But it's very important to really begin to learn and understand this isness, because it supersedes everything. And so with this experience with this Christian, of course, it's a wake-up, because again, what's the idea? They have a belief, which is illusion, which is really a mind vice idea. It's to capture, it's to really, what it really does, the belief idea, the hope, belief, and faith, which I've talked about many times in the books, written about, that is just really a mind vice. It's a trap to keep the individual from imagining anything else. So what they do is they put their intent into an idea called belief, hope, and faith that is nothing and goes nowhere. And so what they get from it is nothing, except that they're trapped one-dimensionally. And this is what has been promoted by the religious and basically religions, and the spiritual systems carry this stuff over too. And just that word belief and faith and hope, they basically go together. They're all maybes. They don't exist. They're just cute ideas that sound warm and cozy and go nowhere. So again, with the new you, the individual all of a sudden starts to have a real experience, showing him that there is more about himself altogether. Yes. So that's terrific. And it would be nice if they wrote these down in French and shared them. If they wrote this to us, Charles, English and French, if you would, just that experience alone would be terrific. And Ava will make an image out of that and pass it around. It's very, very important, because, again, most of the world here is fossilized into a one-dimensional belief system that is adding to the demise of the planet, because through just those ideas that sound so cutesy and are heartwarming and supposedly loving, because it's just astral motions and feelings, well, people are being tap-lined and destroyed. It's just very real. It's not working. The love thing here, the emotional level, to a certain point, yes, but after that, it's not working. It actually reverses itself and creates demise. And so it's really time to wake up, because, again, we're in creation. It's a reflection. It's a simulator. We need creation, but we also need to get past it. And that's where the isness life is. This is where you save your own life. So, all these things are very important. And again, cute little stories and nice sayings are not going to work anymore. They just are not going to work. And it is creating a demise for the entire planet. That's why I'm very adamant on presenting and spreading what I do, because I'm on the planet too. But it's still going to do what it's going to do. And anybody can come up with a cute idea. It's like, oh, it'll be okay, and we're going to get there and whatever. Well, guess what? Until you're there, you're not there. That's very real. So you can use all these little cutesy ideas you want. They don't work. It's really doing it. So it's on all levels accordingly, and learning to wake up to what creation really is, and not just what you thought it was or is. There is a difference. So yes, thank you so much, Charles. Is that it? Is that basically it? Thank you, Miriam. Yeah.